ThinkPACT's mission is to raise sustainability awareness amongst economic decision makers. To launch this mission, ThinkPACT gave a man they trusted a blank canvas and plenty of support. He said, "Let's engage business leaders not from the top down, but from the bottom up, and place human well-being and connection at the heart of the matter. We'll transform our relationship culture and spread health, wealth and happiness throughout our cities." With some dedicated friends, he moved into a house in Bern, and they called this living laboratory the Happy Bern Lab. He opened up its doors to neighbours, family, teachers, migrants, students, politicians, international changemakers, NGO and business leaders, and together they hosted all sorts of gatherings, workshops, retreats, and much more. The Happy Bern Lab is an experiment in new ways of living and working together.
One of the most fascinating things for me was just how it brought together people from very, very different walks of life. And we weren't there in our function, we were there really to learn together and to learn from each other. So that to me was what made it special, and the breadth of the people who were there, and the openness and the positive intentionality with which people went about it.
What the Happy Bern Lab experience provides to business is actually a very new way of interaction. Be it with the employees of a business, be it with the clients. I think that's the valuable thing about it.
People from NGOs were actually saying how they had seen a different side of business or been able to interact with people from business on a different kind of level, seeing them as human beings rather than the badges or the titles that we all carry about with us.
Yeah, it's controversial to what we are used to. So normally you have to give in your budget a clear-cut project planning and so on, which might also be limiting during the process because you have committed to a certain procedure.
Internationally in our organisation, we were in more than 100 countries, there's this tendency to try and plan everything down to the minute detail, which just in a world of great uncertainty just often doesn't make sense. And I think the kind of openness and let's go about, experimenting, trying things, seeing what works, prototyping, iterating, that's a very different way of working, which I'm now bringing into our organisation.
It is proven to me that this approach can not only be used with businesses or in communities, but it can also be used for educational purposes with students who are now socializing into a very, very different world with all this technology around us and who are very comfortable collaborating online, but much less comfortable doing it so in the offline space.
Everyone wants to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. And so to find this new entrance store, to make it very local in your neighborhood, where this house is, in your city, where it touches you, where you care about, to get involved, to try out a new way of making sustainable development palpable and exciting. And then to connect it to an international network of happy labs around the world where the same thing happens, so that eventually when solutions pop up, boom, they can spread through this network where trust has been built locally.
There are initiatives and conversations being sprung out of that garden or out of the house that reach far and wide out beyond Bern, beyond Switzerland, and in fact into the wider world. And it's starting to really get into the bloodstream of the wider business community and the wider sustainability movement.